Thank you. Questions? Yeah, yeah. No, yes.
But this presentation particularly interests me because I know more about this than the other part of Clean Sky, although Clean Sky is very well known for me as well. But I commented the first presentation regarding this slide in flying demonstrators. I guess that one of your slides, which you named, what was the name of this demonstrator there, which was above the particular Piaggio effect of demonstrator, that this simple demonstrator could be put on the first slide, yes, or reference. I guess that it could be a nice compromise for complementing this slide on Clean Sky. So this is what my suggestion is. But the other thing that I am very satisfied is that from your presentation I saw that gas turbines are considered to be older. So this is what I am very satisfied with this. So it will be easy to lower the CO2 emissions, also lower direct operational costs, that you are very concerned because small air transport, it is not something that should be based on very expensive aircraft. So equipment and also other costs regarding the aircraft are very crucial. If you want to have this system, the technology should be very cost efficient. Not also manufacturing aircraft, but also equipment which is on board and support pilot in different situations are very crucial. So CESAR, as you mentioned in it, is also something that should contribute, not only Clean Sky, because Clean Sky, you develop technologies, but CESAR is another JU at the Commission that I guess that you very precisely mentioned it. Yesterday, I was in Rzeszów, we discussed CESAR issue. I stressed this also small air transport for CESAR joint undertaking. So this is what another comment to this presentation is. But the other thing is that I would like to ask maybe you, not maybe particularly you, but also the panelists. Because from this presentation, it is something that I understand that you are working on an aircraft. It is small aircraft, something that should fly. It is nothing. It is not an engine, it is not an airframe, but it's an aircraft. So this is what I would like to understand. You could not tell it precisely why you are in transfer activity. So this is what I would like to ask now. Because if it is an aircraft, I don't understand why SAT is a transverse activity to what? To ITDs? The same ITDs are being developed for big aircraft, for rotorcraft, for regional aircraft. And I guess that the same ITDs are equip also SAT part. So this is my question. Why it cannot be in the same IATD part as a complementing type of vehicles? Because big aircraft, regional aircraft, rotor aircraft, so I can't imagine better place for SAT, although SAT, when you develop this anagram, it is small air transport, but in fact you are developing aircraft. So my question is, and convince me, why it cannot be in this IADP, close to and side by side to other type of aircraft. If Europe has to develop aviation, we have to also complete the fleet of aircraft. And what is missing in Europe is small aircraft, really. It is not only for industry. but it is also for citizens. Particularly, Horizon 2020 gives this opportunity because Horizon 2020 is very precise because it concerns societal challenges on transport, not on flying object, not on vehicle, which is surface transport vehicle, but on system. When you mentioned about this 90% of door-to-door should be completed within 4 hours, so I guess that the system should be completed with small aircraft. And it is nothing bad to be to big aircraft in this IDTP, even if it is a small. It is a small, nice brother. Very nice. Why? We should not, why it is together? Because it also complements the fleet and also supports the system. Because aviation cannot be considered as a big aircraft with big hubs. European resolution on regional development of regional airports precisely says that regional airports should be windows for European citizens to go there, to make business, to travel all over Europe. And if we develop small aircraft, it is an opportunity to give small regions in Europe which are underdeveloped in infrastructure, high-speed trains, motorways. So this is an opportunity that small aircraft can give for whole Europe and for whole system. And again, small air transport, it is also a nice thing to consider by big as a supply chain, because it developed technology that later on can be taken on by big aircraft. And this should work together. So my question is this: if that could be possible.
Yeah, thank you for this question. I would say I agree with you. It would be, let's say, more logic if SAT would be on a level of AIDPs and have some let's say, sole AIDP. But the things, maybe it's more a question for JU to answer this one. But there was some reasons like that in SAT activities will come quite late in the SAT in Clean Sky 2 activities. So there was some structure was done, and we simply try to need some role for SAT. There was, as far as I know, another reason that the budget for SAT was, in comparison with the other IDPs, quite low. So that was simply some afraid about the things coming with this one. Other thing is that SAT is a new topic in Clean Sky 2, and as you told, we are considered as a small brother of the big ones, and we try to change that, but it simply doesn't go from day to day. So for me, it's quite hard to answer this question. Maybe I would ask colleagues to clarify that more deeply.
You can ask the other members of the SAT what was my personal position on SAT, which coincides with your question. So for me, it was appropriate that the SAT could have the dignity either of an ITD or ADP. Other factors have influenced this choice. I think it's a bit too late to change it. However, as the budget has even been increased, because there was a political action to say instead of 4% is 5%, or so, 5 to 4. So, but there is a budget assigned. You have already seen in the other presentations, for example, that how the regional IADP is linked with the airframe ITD, and how then will be a strong need for a proper management of activities which are performed in one project, in one platform, to be used in the other platform. So if we extend the concept and we say that SAT is composed of three main areas of activity: airframe, of course, systems, and engine, which are the core elements of this new aircraft. So now, whether or not it's an IADP and call this a transversal area, what will be for me essential is that its management, the leaders of the SAT, behave and work and plan and perform as they were a formal IADPs. So they have the same dignity, and they're participating to the governing board. They are equivalent to all the other members. So I don't see a drawback or a limit in not being called IADP or ITDs, provided they perform as they were. So my question, in fact, is more on this slide, why you have still 2 question marks. So the idea that you could have one single platform, one single demonstrator instead of probably 4, this for me is a potential weak point of this proposal. This should be one single aircraft, if new or maybe an existing one, integrating in different technologies. With the budget they have and the activity to be performed, you are right, this slide could enter the other slide, but what do you show? 4 demonstrators, each of them performing a single technology, or would have been better to have one platform being the flight test bed as a flight test bed representative of the small aircraft transport category and collecting the different technologies. So this is, I'm sure, your internal discussion on how to clarify. But the sooner the 2 question marks are filled with a picture or with some activity performed, the better it is, even to show the consistency of the full program. So my position is, it could have been appropriate. For different reasons, it has not happened to call them IADP. However, the budget is there, the program is defined, and there is all the possibility for this SAT to become a successful part of the Clean Sky 2. This is my personal position. Okay?
I would like to add that the fact that SAT's transversal activity doesn't limitate us. So we are really respected part of Clean Sky 2, and if we are transversal activity, and the reason was here described, or if we maybe in future we'll have our own AIDP, right now it plays no big role for us.
I could add to this comment, this explanation. I agree that it's okay, that it is the question of a drawback in it, that you have the full right to work on it. But the thing is not the question of money, how much money is committed from Clean Sky on SAT aircraft, but the question is that it is simply, we have to name by name. When it is an aircraft, it should be there. But of course, I am not going to continue on it. But the thing why we have 2 question marks rather than one demonstrator, I think it is perfectly well, because small air transport cannot be focused only on one aircraft. It should be adjusted to many different needs of a client, of a region, of a something, solutions. So therefore I like it that a Piaggio, a Vector, and 2 question marks, it may be more, different engines, different types of aircraft, because from 4 to 19 seaters, it means that you can have 10 passengers and so on. But big aircraft is different. Regional aircraft is also different. So it is not bad to have one flying demonstrator. But this is, I like your ambition, so I very much cross fingers to succeed. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Turek to have been so active during this morning, at least. Yeah. So we will give a prize for so many questions that we have asked. And I was like, no, okay. No, it's no. Thank you to have a promo. So, are there any other questions specific for SAT after this discussion we had on the merit and the scope and the role inside Clean Sky 2 that we have confirmed is called the transversal activity, but it's really one project, so one platform. So it's absolutely clear. If there are no other questions, we are almost perfectly on time. I give the microphone to Armen then, and we can close this morning session. Okay, please.
I would like to thank you all the speakers for coming here and presenting the Clean Sky, the part of the Clean Sky. Of course, it's not all ITDs and EIDPs. I would like to also say that remind you that the B2B meetings are not here, but in the NCBR. It's at Nowogrodzka 47A Street. And also, I would like to ask you if you are coming for these meetings to be about 15 minutes before. It will be easier to organize. So thank you very much. The lunch is in the restaurant, and the B2B meetings start from 2 p.m. Thank you.